Imagine if when you turned 18, you felt like a man. You knew that you had been through challenges and tests that proved that you were capable of becoming a real man, of having responsibility, of having agency, of using your will to make a difference, to move forward with a sense of self and a sense of strength that allows you to own your life and the way you move within the world. A feeling that you are capable of making decisions and of leading others, of owning a domain of society, of having responsibility and making sure that you're capable of keeping up that responsibility, of feeling that you have reached a state where you are now living up to the principles and the hard-fought values of your culture, of your group, of your people. Imagine that was the case when you turned 18. When you were younger, you had gone through the challenges. You'd been tested properly for whether you are capable of becoming a real man. This is something that we have now lost. This is something that now causes us to produce complacent men, to produce a complacent culture. When you turn 18, you haven't done anything. You have not been tested as a man. You have not actually been challenged. You've not been forced to take on risk. You've not been forced to make real decisions under pressure, to trust yourself in making those decisions. We have lost this. Building on the previous episode, we discussed the complacent man and the two main factors that cause complacency. It's institutional, it's organizational. It is the environment that shapes who men become. And right now, there is nothing pushing men to become men of agency, men of will, men of drive, men of strength. The causes we discussed last time are twofold. There is a lack of involuntary risk, and there is a lack of a civilizational goal. For the future that we want, for the society we want, one that is prosperous, one that is flourishing, we need to produce non-complacent men. We need systems and processes in place that ensure men do not become complacent. As we can see, when there are no rules, when there are no systems that force it upon men, they do become complacent. They become lazy, they become comfortable and safe, and we see the effects on a civilizational scale. So we need to produce non-complacent men, and because the environment no longer forces risk upon us, forces challenges upon us, upon boys, upon men, we need to put those in place on purpose. We need to put systems in place that turn boys into men. And it's a classic, right? In all of history, you see it. It's the case. Yet now, we lack it, and we need it, and the future needs it. So, we need a society that has in place processes, institutions, organizations, systems that turn a boy into a man, that ensures he does not become complacent, that provides him with the skills capable of possessing agency, of possessing his own sense of will, of being able to take on responsibility, to take ownership and accountability, to be able to stand up for what he believes in and the values he possesses and the principles he lives by, to be challenged by his community, by his peers, in a way that ensures he not only upholds the standards that society demands of him, but attempts to prosper within it, to build something great, to achieve something better than what others have achieved, something worthy of praise, but something with meaning, something that is aligned with the civilizational goal of our group, of our society. We need that in place. If we look at the first cause of complacent men, it's the lack of risk, the lack of involuntary risk. Nature does not force it upon you, so you have to take it upon yourself. And as we see, many do not do that. Many do not possess that inner drive. And so we need to institutionalize it. It needs to be forced upon men, and it needs to be forced upon boys. You know, you need a structure where you don't just go through school and turn 18 and now all of a sudden you're a man. No, you're not, right? You see it. All you've done is sit still and be complacent and listen to the institutions and read a little bit, memorize a little bit, and you've passed 18 years of age, of time. That's not enough. That's not a man. We need systems that produce men. And we can think of a future where boys are sent to a boot camp of sorts, right? Maybe it's a survival boot camp, or it's a skills and craft boot camp. And you're sent there every year from the age of 8, right? And it is in parallel to the education system as we know it. Without touching on how the education system should change, but there should be a parallel track that ensures boys become men. And it needs to be in place. It needs to be institutionalized. Survival boot camp for building crafts and skills and developing your oratory capabilities, developing your leadership capabilities, developing your capabilities to make decisions under pressure or to take on risk or to lead others or to possess responsibility for others, whether that is younger children or anything else that might really challenge a boy. And it has to be tested. It has to be challenged, right? It's not, oh, you're going to pass anyways. No. If you don't perform, if you're not capable, you got to redo it. You got to try again. You're not progressing to the next stage by default. You are challenged. And if you fail, you have to try again. That is what it demands, because you need to build men who are actually capable. Not just people who went through something without any guarantee that it actually changed them. It actually formed something worthy inside of them. So these things need to be institutionalized from boyhood to manhood. And even when you get older, we need mentorships. We need tracks that ensure a teenage boy who is now in the process of really becoming a man, he's guided by something older, someone wiser. Someone who can lead him towards mastery within a certain domain, lead him towards excellence within a certain domain, because all men need to drive themselves towards something where they can achieve excellence. You need that mentorship track, you need that craft track, that skill track that actually focuses on what it means to be a master, what it means to be excellent, what it means to be great. And you can develop tracks that all align with various domains of society that both are necessary and align with the society's goals. But these things need to be in place. When you're 16, you're forced upon a mentorship, right? You're forced to learn from someone great within a domain. And that person will take you on personally. They will challenge you. They will test you. They will demand you to be greater, demand you to be more. And this was the case in many of the greatest civilizations in all of history, right? This is what happened when you were a boy. This is how you became a man. And we've lost this. We've forgotten about it. We've thrown it away because it's wrong or whatever other moral implications society currently says there are to that. But the truth is we need it. We needed to build society. We needed to build civilization. We needed to build the strength of a group, of our group. It is a necessity. And if we do not possess it, complacency appears to be the default. And so we need these institutions in place. And I'm not just saying that as in, great, good idea, we should have that. No, I mean, you need to go into life moving forward with the idea that this needs to be built. It's a demand, it's a necessity, it's a requirement. Otherwise, civilizational decline will continue. So you can think about it, if you have boys, if you have children already, if you're going to have them in the future, which you definitely should. And in general, if you think about ideas of what to build in society right now, what to create for the West, for Europe, what to put in place that can ensure longevity, that can ensure we hinder complacency in the future. It's a long-term project, but it has to be built. And so preventing complacency through forced challenges, forced risk, forced decision-making, creating, men of agency, men capable of using their own will to determine how to move in society. That is a necessity, and it needs to be institutionalized. The second point from the previous video on what produces complacent men is the lack of civilizational goal. When men do not possess something outward, something to drive towards, something to use their inner force and push against nature, push against all external factors in order to achieve, they are lost. They are aimless. They turn to comfort, they turn to safety, they turn to complacency. So every man needs some higher purpose, some greater aim to work towards. And the most aligned aim one can work towards is the betterment of one's own group, of one's own family, of one's own society and culture. A civilizational aim, a civilizational goal that will not be achieved next year. It will not be achieved in 5 decades. It is for the future. It's for you to strive towards, to bring your life energy towards, to create towards, because you know this is the right thing to do. This is what will bring greatness to my people. This is what will bring greatness to the world. This is what will allow me to use my capability in a positive direction, as a positive force in the world and for my life. And so we need civilizational goals. And we can talk about all the different goals we might possess, but we can start at the fundamental core, which is that we need a unified culture around certain principles and values that we stand by, that we fight for, that we will not yield on. We need higher reproduction rates. It should be your aim to have 3 children or more, right? Because otherwise, what will happen? Society will die out. Your culture will die out. Your group will die out. That's the reality. That's nature. We need to fight for our group standing internationally, right? You need to create great creations. You need to build beauty and buildings that will stand forever, for hundreds of years. You need to express the greatness of your culture, of your values, to the highest form, to the most excellent, the most great form. These are civilizational aims. These are goals to strive towards. You yourself can take on deep, aligned, proper principles of what a man should be, of what a person within your culture should live up to, should hold themselves to. And you can, with ruthless energy, embrace those principles and live by them and stand by them and fight for them in conversation, in debate, in the world. In everything, in how you create an organization, in how you socialize as a group. You can take on those principles and you can live by them. That in itself is an aim to strive towards. And we need greater civilizational goals. We need something that motivates every man to go out there and to fight and to strive and to build and to create. Something that is so grand and so aligned with your inner core as a man that you want to go out there. You don't want to sit and waste your time with comfort and simple pleasures, right? You want to go out there and fight. You want to go out there and drive your will into existence, but it needs to be towards something. And towards the greatness of your own people. That is obviously the highest aim. Now that needs to be concrete, right? You need principles of honor, of high trust, of protecting your family, children, women. You need one where when you take responsibility, you live by that. You fight for that. You die for that. You do not give it up. You do not meander to whatever is coming. When it comes to the way you interact with others, you are respectable, honorable. You are of a higher form, right? These are principles to embrace. These are worthy principles. And you can start with reproduction. It's a necessity. You should make it your aim. Have 3 children or more. It should be a life goal, because it's a genuinely positive thing you can do for your people, for your society. And the same with raising them, right? You need to raise non-complacent people, non-complacent boys. You should build institutions that put in place something cultural rather than just economical. Right now, the only thing you have to do is basic education, and all that aims to do is make you a worker, right? To produce some economic benefit. But what about the tracks that build culture, that build greatness, that build great people within your culture? What about the recognition of those that live up to your values to the highest degree? Of those that embrace excellence within something you as a culture, you as a people, praise, right? Excellence is a virtue. Why is not genuine excellent what is being recognized? The people we honor, the people we praise, the people we build statues for, the people who get awards, right? It should be for excellence within domains that align with our inner values, that align with our civilizational aims. And these systems need to be put in place, they need to be built. But it starts with the people, it starts with you, with the men. The environment will not turn around and change by itself until, oh, now it feels right and it feels easy to be a man of will, a man of strength, to be someone who can use their will and drive into the world and make changes and make decisions and lead in the right direction for your people. Can't wait around for the environment. It will not happen. It starts with the people. It starts with the strong core of people, of men, who are willing to do this, to stand against the tide, and to bring about a positive change, the right change for the people. So you need to take on that duty, take on that responsibility. Don't just listen and say, oh, okay, that sounds nice. No, you need to embrace that as a person right now.